Nobody did. All right, welcome back. Is this a bit clearer? I know we've lost a lot of persons because of swapping the phone. So let me know if this is a bit clearer. So let's get started. We've already taken lots of time. Okay, if it is clear, that's okay. Let's proceed. Or should we give 2 minutes to other persons to join us? Let's continue. They will join us later. Okay. So when we talk about regression itself is just talking about the relationship between the dependent variable and the independent variable. So we're not to do full teaching. We're just going to go straight to the point. So one thing I need you to understand about, or somebody said we should give them 2 minutes. All right. So in course of giving them 2 minutes, can we hit the like button? We are 8 watching, so let's have 8 likes right now. Share the video. Let them know about this particular link, because this is a new link. I don't know if it is the same with the previous. So share it across the group chat so that they will join us. And if you've not subscribed to my channel, just hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much for hitting the subscribe button. I love you all. And then we're going to do as much as we can tonight. So somebody suggested we give them 2 minutes for them to join us. So while we're waiting, support the channel by hitting that red button, that subscribe button, and then the like button, that thumbs up, that's the like button. Just do those 2 things. I'll be fine. Then share the video. So I'm waiting. 2 minutes, we are counting. Maybe it is 2 minutes. That is by, let's say, okay, in 2 minutes time, we'll just start. Jira, thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button. I really do appreciate you. And for those of you hitting the like button, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, I think it's 2 minutes already, so let's start. Always up to 2 minutes. Let's start. We've given them a lot of time. And then if you want to help them, just share the live video so that they will know about the live stream. And then I was also saying that we are going to start off with this year's question paper. I think it's clearer now. That's okay. We're going to start off with this year. Somebody is requesting for my WhatsApp number. Yes, I'm going to drop it so that you can, those of you who don't have the question paper for this year, you could just chat me up. Let me forward it across to you. But that's what we're going to work with first before other ones. We're going to be choosing at random. Then for the WhatsApp number is 070-3961-8664. I will say that again. 070-3961-8664. So that's the WhatsApp number. That's the number you can reach me with. Okay, let's get started right away. Okay, we're talking about regression, and we say that regression talks about basically the relationship between the dependent variable and the independent variable. And when we talk about dependent and dependent variable, we're just talking about x and y. So having known that, the most important thing I want you to know about this regression is what we call the equation of the regression line of y on x. You need to know this equation. A couple of persons are always focusing on chapter 6 of your textbook, chapter 7, chapter 8, and as the case may be. That does not mean that other chapters from 1 to 5 are not important. Please do not disregard them. And me starting off the tutorials with this chapter, which is tilting towards that 5, 6, 7 or thereabout. I don't know exactly the chapter where I can get this correlation and regression. It doesn't mean that I don't value others. All topics are important, but I just want to take care of the ones I feel you should be needing more attention because of the timing, signature, and what they have. So for the equation, we have that y is equal to a plus bx. All right. Where these a and b are constants, and we have the y and x to be dependent and independent variable. Okay, someone says it should be chapter 5. That's okay. So some of you may be having challenges on the parameters used in some textbooks because some textbook makes life so difficult for students. In a way, they decide to use some symbols that are not friendly for a particular topic that is supposed to be very simple. So that is what we want to go against tonight, by making sure that we use familiar terms and we still have the exact answer that they are having. All right. So when you come across this y equal to a plus bx, it is a simple equation called the equation of regression line of y on x. In some textbooks, they will put it as by y equal to a plus b by x. So when you see this and this, they are the same thing. But we usually deploy this when we want to solve problems. And then after we must have gotten our a and b, we plug them into the equation for us to be able to get the equation of regression line of y on x. So, but then, if you understand your basic statistics, you know that this y bar stands for something. It means mean of y. And of course, if you know mean, we have mean for group data and we have mean for ungrouped data. And then for this particular one, when you just come across it, we don't just want you to think so much. You just know that sigma y over n is the formula for this. Similarly, for by x is something as sigma x over n, true or false. Let me know if you are familiar with this. So as if that was not enough, if you're able to know that y by y stands for sigma y over n, and by x stands for sigma x over n, keep in mind that I told you that a and b are constants. So if I decide to plug in these two expression, or say, if I plug in this for y and plug in this for x, then you have for y to be sigma y over n equal to a plus b. If you want to put it in brackets, it's not a problem. But if you still want to just write it straight up like this, it's still okay. But in my case, I like making things mature like this. I think this is fair. Okay, at this point, you need to make A the subject of the formula. And if you make A to the subject of the formula, you will know that this particular one will move to the left. And then you have A to be equal to sigma y over n minus b into sigma x over n. So at this point, by the time you'll be given a table, you will notice that that table will have a row or column for x, and it will also have column for y. So for you to get sigma y, you need to add everything you have under the column of y, and then it divide it by the total number you have in there. If they're up to 7, just make your n to be 7. Also, for the x column, if they are up to 7, of course, it will be proportional to y. If y values are 7, x values must be 7. That means your n in both cases will be 7. So thereby, your table will look like this. This is how you need to arrange your table. A table will have a column for, it will have a column for x. You still have a column for y. You also need a column for x squared. You have a column for y squared. And then finally, you have a column for xy. You must make sure that these 5 things are heavily represented on your table. Then those values you have under the x column, maybe 5, 9, depending on what you have in that particular exams question paper, that's what you fix. And let's, for example, here is 5, here is 7, here is 3, here is 1, and etc. And then here is 2. Please let me know if you're following me. I'm not seeing anybody responding. If you know you're following what I'm doing, just say go ahead. Go ahead. With that go ahead, I'll know you're active with me. Please. And if you don't hit the like button, please hit the like button. If you're not seeing clearly, let me know too. Whatever be the issue, please let me know. And thank you very much for those of you who are hitting the subscribe button. I'm getting notification that some of you just subscribed to my YouTube channel. Thank you for hitting that red button. It's actually helping me to grow my channel. I really appreciate you. And for those of you hitting the like button, that thumbs up you're seeing there, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, Dean Ogude said I should go ahead. Divine said I should go ahead. Tyler said, we are with you, sir. Okay. Please go ahead, please. Okay. This is encouraging. Thank you for hitting the like button, and thank you also. The camera, please. Okay, this one said no issue, not clear. Oh, sorry. Let me take it a bit closer. Please need to bear with us. But hopefully, before you start up with your physics one-to-one, your second semester physics and your mathematics and your chemistry, I will make sure everything that has to do with the lighting, the camera, and everything is well balanced. I will balance them. All right. So we'll not be having the issue of whether it is blurry and all that. So I promise to do that for you. And then, of course, our second semester tutorials, I'll let you know when we start. I'll always be available during your exams like this. So sorry for the inconveniences the camera may be causing. Let's just manage, please. Okay, let's assume value for y. Let's say here is 0, and here is 1, and here is 4, for example. And this is what we have under our x, and this is what we have under our y. For you to get x squared, this thing is what you know already. And if you don't know it, at least you're knowing it right now. So you don't need to waste time in exams. Don't waste time, feel because I know this. You don't even have the time. So let's say this thing, since it is already in your brain, you can use 3 minutes to fix it. The only thing that will delay you is the punching of these values on your calculator. So of course, don't be moved to say that I'm okay with I can use my head. Please do not use your head this time. Your brain may fail you. So use your calculator at every point. Even if you want to do 1 plus 1, be sure it is 2 on your calculator. Like in this case, some person will say 5 squared. X squared means 5 squared. And some person will say the answer is 10 because your brain will fail you. It's not safe if you don't know it. So make sure you use a calculator to be sure 5 squared is 25. All right. 7 squared means 7 times 7, which is 49. Let me adjust the camera. Somebody says blurry. Can you guys at least see a little? Is it a bit clearer? Okay. Just check any position I place that is okay. Let me know. That is manageable. Any position that is manageable, let me know. Oh, yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. That would be the budget to get the router and tripod. But that tripod will really help for positioning, and the router will be able to make our reception to be stable. So thank you. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm suspecting because from my end, it's a bit clearer, and I do not know why it is appearing blurry over there. But please, whatever the situation is, if you can be able to see a little of it, we could just manage and see how far we can achieve. But I'm suspecting heavily that the reception might be contributing to this. Okay, so for 3 squared will be 9, and 1 squared is 1. You can see how we're able to get the value for x squared. Again, for y squared, come under the column of y, square all the values there. So for 2, we have 4. For 0, we have 0. For 1, we have 1. 1 squared is 1. For 4, we have 16. In this case, you may mistakenly say 4 squared is 8 if you're doing it with your brain. It likely when you leave the exam hall, that's when you remember you made a mistake. And then, unfortunately, should I say fortunately, you will see an option that gives the result of what you've gotten, So, but that's it. Then this last one, xy, look at it. We have x and we have y. Xy means this will multiply by this will multiply by this. If x will multiply by the y, and just like that. So 5 times 2 will just give us straight up 10. And 7 times 0 is 0. 3 times 1 is 3. And 1 times 4 is 4. So this is what I was saying. You need to get the sigma x. You need to get sigma x. What am I doing? Sigma x. This sigma is summation. And then this sigma x means that you need to sum up everything you have here. So if I have 7 plus 3, that will be 10, plus 5, 15, plus 1, 16. So we have 16 here. You need also sigma y. Sigma y means you sum up everything here, which is 6 plus 1, 7. The total number, which is n, I told you about n. How to get your n now is you count 1, 2, 3, 4. The total number is 4. All right? Not the total number on x and y. At least this column has just 4 numbers, and the column of X must be the same thing with the column of Y, the same, the total number. The total, I mean, in this case, not the algebraic sum, just the total number on the column. All right, you need to also find sigma x squared, sigma y squared, sigma xy. These are things you must calculate. If you're unable to calculate these things, then it will be difficult for you to use these formulas. And this is, if you're summing up this, let's assume, I think we are just doing an example. Let's assume we are, okay, well, let's add up this. 1 plus 49 is 50. 50 plus 25 will give us 75. And 75 plus 9 will give us 84. So this man is 84. Some other person should add up this and add up this. Let's make it quicker. So what is the summation for? Yeah, thank you very much. Samuel Buddy. Thank you. Somebody should do for y squared and somebody should do for xy. Let's make the process quicker. And by this class, you should have your calculator close by because this is statistics. You need your calculator to make the work quicker for us. All right, somebody has typed for the y squared is 21, and then xy is, yes, I'm waiting for xy. I think that one should be 14 plus 3, 17. Is that what you have? Check very well. Is it 17 or 16? Let's be sure. Okay, 17. Okay, but this is a problem. This is a problem right now. We've been able to plot our table and we've gotten all these things. But look at this. Even if we decide to put the value for n, if we decide to plug in these values for sigma y is here, which is 7. Your n is 4. Sigma x is here, which is 16. Your n is also 4. Then what happened to b? It means that you need to find b firstly, after you would have quoted this formula like this. You need to find b, because if you don't have b, then you're not going anywhere. So in order for us to get b, we need to apply the formula. Let me use another sheet of paper. We need to apply the formula to get b. And of course, statistics usually have a lot of formulas. So do not be discouraged when you see them coming so much. Okay. So for b, you need to use this formula. B equal to n sigma xy minus sigma x sigma y all over n sigma x squared minus sigma x all squared. This is a formula you must remember. As somebody is giving us xy to be 23, where is that coming from? Is it the same xy we're working on, or you have a question you're solving already? I need to be sure about that. And that is for Wanzi Chinechirem. Okay, having said that, this formula is something you need to remember. And that's why I decided to bring it up for B. So you need to get your B, so let's substitute the value for your A to get your A. I hope you're following. Okay. Oh, thank you. I just noticed that somebody just hit the subscribe button. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate you. And if you've not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. That will help me grow my channel. And hit the like button. let's just hack this YouTube ethically with our likes and our subscribe. We need to hack it ethically. Ethical hacking, that's what I'm talking about. Let's hack it with our likes and subscribe. And thank you for joining. Share the live also so that people will join us. Okay, these are the parameters we've gotten already. Let's plug them into this B. And then we'll finish with this section and move straight to another phase of the statistics. We have a lot to cover. I just hope that this battery will sustain our class for tonight. Okay, our n is 4, so we have 4 multiplied by sigma xy is what? 17. And then this will subtract sigma x times sigma y. Sigma x is 16 multiplied by sigma y. Sigma y is what? 7. All over n is there. Don't miss this n when you're quoting the formula. N is 4. This will multiply by sigma x squared, and sigma x squared is 84 minus. This is where students fail these statistics a lot. Some person feel this and this are the same. Let me know your opinion. Are they the same? If they are the same, let me know yes, they are the same. If they are not, say no, they are not the same. And what's the difference? Because a lot of students usually have problems when it gets to that point. And that spoils a lot of work for them when they are making good progress already. So let me know your thoughts. Excellent. Adolphine said no, it's not the same. Beautiful. I think I will just work with that first one I've seen. They are not the same in the sense that, look at sigma x squared is already captured as 84. This one is sigma x. This is sigma x that you need to square. All right. So we have this to be 16 all squared. So by the time you are done doing that, I suppose by now you would have punched these things on your calculator. Let's have the answer straight up and then get our B, plug it on and get our A. Then we know that we've settled for regression. And then we just do correlation. Correlation, I'll just show you what to do. Then we leave this particular topic and talk about tests of hypothesis. Because I noticed that they have a lot of questions repeating on that. And the central limit theory. All this one that has to do with standard deviation, mean, variance. We will see how far we can go. So what's the answer? Have you punched on your calculator? 4 multiplied by 17, 16 multiplied by 7, 4 multiplied by 84, 16 squared. I think the views are going down. Are people going to bed already? Are we tired already? If we are tired, please let me know so that we can end the live so that you concentrate on other things you need to fix for yourself. Is it the total answer I'm having -3? Somebody is writing -3 over 20. Could that be for the total value for B? And if your answer is yes, please make it in decimal form. I need the answer in decimal form, please. That doesn't mean you leaving it in fraction is bad. But in my case, I like putting it in decimal form. Okay. Somebody said, Praise said 0.15. So does it mean when you put it in decimal form, the negative sign will disappear? I just guessed those values, not that we've solved this problem before. I did that so that when you see any question that has this value, you can be able to substitute using this method I've shown you. Okay, somebody said B is minus 0. Oh, I'm having different answer. Are we using the same calculator? What is really happening? I'm seeing minus 0.15, minus 0.45, minus 0.5, minus 0.55 in this same question. That means there is a problem somewhere. We're in trouble. We are in trouble. Okay, let me teach you something you need to know about calculator. When you are doing that, Daniel said minus 0.55. When you're doing, or somebody say, can't see the figure clearly, the figure. 4 times 17 minus 16 times 7 divided by 4 times 84 minus 16 square. That's the value. I'm very confused right now. I told you I don't have calculators, so I don't know which answer to believe. And keep in mind, when I will believe an answer is when I see everybody having the same thing. Keep in mind, if you want to do direct punching on your calculator, you should learn how to use brackets, especially when you have a compounded denominator. So in this case, if you want to punch directly, after punching 17 times 4 minus 16 times 7, when you press division sign, open brackets. Possibly, if you can open up to 2 brackets first, and then punch 4 times 8 minus, open another bracket for 16 square, close the bracket and close it again. If you open double bracket, you close it twice. So that way you just have straight answer for everything. Okay, let's take it bit by bit. I think somebody is bringing another good solution. What is this one is saying XY 17. Where are you people getting your answers from? Okay, I think I'm having stream of answer that looks alike now. Some persons are saying selected clip said minus 0.55. Samuel Buddy said minus. Okay, I think this answer is getting a bit uniform. Minus 0.55. Please do not take long in this kind of stuff again. But this is a simple calculation. It's not even a compounded one. So please don't take long. And don't be in a haste. Be careful when you're punching. Okay. Praise. Thank you very much. Yeah, Clinton have chosen that particular answer. And of course, the B does not have units. So don't bother about units. All right. So now we've gotten our B. Can we plug in the value now for our A? Look at the formula for A. For A, we have A equal to sigma y over n minus B into sigma x over n. If you're new and you did not see this, maybe you have to replay the video, or you go back, or probably you ask question will help you out. So let's plug this value. What is sigma y? Sigma y is 7. Confirm it. So we have 7 over 4. N is 4. Please confirm anything I'm saying here. Okay, we have minus. B is minus 0.55. 0.55. And then we have sigma x. Sigma x is 16. And that will divide by 4. I hope somebody is punching already because we don't have time. So please be fast when you're punching. If you're just joining us, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. So what is 4 by 7? 4 divided by 7. Let's take it bit by bit. And of course, you know that minus minus here will be plus. So we have plus here. And 16 divided by 4. If 16 divided by 4 is 4, 4 times 0.55 plus 7 divided by 4, what is the answer? So, okay, is that the total answer? I'm seeing 3.95. Is it the total answer selected clip? If it is total, please let's confirm if that answer is in line with other persons. Let's do that quickly, please. Okay, it said A is, somebody else should confirm if A is 3.95. Or should you just take the answer as 3.95? Is that correct? Okay, peace, Ejemba, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. Okay, Praise has confirmed that answer. So if that is correct, then that is beautiful. If you're just joining us, please hit the like button. That thumbs up you have there, just hit it. And if you've not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. If you've subscribed before, thank you for subscribing. You don't need to do it twice, it's just once in a lifetime on this particular channel. So thank you very much. Okay, since we're able to get the value for A and that of B, then the first thing we need to do, if the question says that we should find the regression line of y on x, then look at the equation. We've done that earlier. This is the one you're going to use. I hope this is clear. Let me know if it is clear, please. This is the equation we're going to plug it in. You know that we have our A already, and we have our B already. So you're asked to find the equation of regression line of y on x. So that means x and y will be constant, whereas the values for this A and B have to be substituted for this equation. All right. Our Clinton is saying 3.95. Okay. A lot of persons have confirmed to the answer. Okay, that is the equation. So if that is clear, okay, if it is clear, let's put it down. Y equal to A plus bx. So in that way, we then have that y will equal to, our A is 3.95. B is carrying a negative sign. So this negative will influence this positive sign. So we have minus 0.55 x. So this is the equation of the regression line of y on x for this particular question of values given to us. At some point in time too, they will ask you to find the value of x if y is given as another number. Please, you don't need to add this one. No, it's not possible. This is not possible. You can't add it. It's not possible. The way it is like this, that's how it will remain. There's no way 3.95 can be able to add up or subtract this particular, because this one is attached to x. And even we have x here, then you can do your subtraction. But because there's no x on this particular one, then you can't add, you can't subtract. You leave your answer like this. All right. Okay. If that is okay, then I told you sometimes they will ask you to find x or find y when x is 50 or any number. That will just use this one to multiply by that 50 and then add up to this, and then that will settle it. Then for you to get your, if you're asked for I think what we just calculated for is for regression. Then for correlation, I think I still remember the formula. For correlation, you just remember that arrow here is representing for correlation. Some person mistaking this arrow for regression because probably it's arrow. No, this symbol is representing the correlation coefficients. All right, and for correlation coefficient, the formula is almost similar to what we have in BE, but this is a bit unique and a bit longer. So this will divide by the square root, by the square root of, we have for the x-axis sigma of x squared minus sigma of x all squared. We close the parentheses, open for y, and then we have this one to be n sigma y squared minus, I don't know how this will be in your textbook, but just take note that this is what you need for you to be able to get this done. So this equation now I've stated is the equation for correlation coefficients. Are we together? Is that clear? Does that make sense to us? Please let me know if I can proceed. Let me know if I should proceed. If you're flowing, let me know so that we move to the next phase. I think the reception is disturbing some persons. Some persons are sending answer right now of the tasks we've already completed. So that means the reception is actually affecting some persons. So we apologize for any inconveniences this is already causing you. But we hope that by next semester, everything will be balanced. All right. So please, after this class, you just check my channel. I've solved about two problems. Is it up to two? I think I've solved a problem on test for hypothesis, but I have two videos. Clinton is saying the formula is discouraging. Please let not discourage you. This is the way I easily remember this formula. Is that what is that thing you're having on this? Okay, if you can remember that of your B, look at B. Look at what you have on the numerator of your B. If you can still remember this particular one for your B, that's exactly what is on top here. That's the way I easily recognize or remember this formula. Then in order for me to get the denominator, I know that I will have two parentheses after taking the square root of them. I have two parentheses like this, and this will settle for x parameter, and this second one is settling for y parameter. And exactly the way I represent the x parameter, that's the same way I represent the y parameter. That's simple. Okay, that's how you can be able to. Then, not to quote it alone, but you need to know how to use it to get your answer. You know that n has been given from what we've solved as 4. Sigma xy has a value already. You should know it from the parameters. I think we've used it somewhere there. Sigma xy, I think 17. All right. Sigma x times sigma y, you have these values. You have all these things here. But you just keep in mind that when you subtract this one, you keep it constant. Just leave it on the numerator. Work on this one in the bracket first. Work on this one. When you're done with them, use the value you have here to multiply by the value you have here. When you multiply them, then take the square root of the answer you have. So it will not become single number. Then finally divide what you have on the numerator by the denominator. You get this value of arrow. So you just need to take it step by step. Except you're a pro, that's when you can be able to compute everything. In my case, for this kind of exams, you're going to take if it is A objectives. I compute everything on the calculator and then I have my answer, then keep progressing. But I discovered that some of you have already attended a calculator class, so I did not bother to look for calculator for this class because I know already you are dangerous on that. If you're not, I'm sorry for making the conclusion. In subsequent time, we'll do a full preparation for you. So let's move on to the next phase of this tutorials, which is going to be focusing on tests for statistical hypothesis. That's what we want to focus on right now. Yes, I can tell you, somebody's saying you can also tell us how to use calculator. Yes, I can tell you, but that shouldn't be verbally. That shouldn't be verbally because I did not cram all the features and everybody have different calculator, isn't it? You have Casio FX991. Some people are using EX and several of the calculators with different functions. So it will be practically impossible to make some assumption of making some verbal explanation on how this should be used. So since you're okay, let's move. I think we've treated one topic already, which is regression and correlation. Let's move straight to another topic. And I will be straight to the point too, so that we will not just waste your time. So I want to streamline your attention on the nitty-gritty on tests of statistical hypothesis. All right. So let's start off with the basic symbols used in inferential statistics. All right, which is test for statistical hypothesis. So I want to make sure I teach you the symbols or remind you the symbols rather, and so that you don't mix them together. And when question comes in, I hope that you'll be able to remember them, because it will be important you don't forget them. They may equally want to talk about, I don't know if your textbook covers that. because in hypothesis testing, we have two types of errors that are involved. I don't know if it is part of your work, but there's no way you'll be doing statistical hypothesis or testing for statistical hypothesis without considering the two types of errors, which is type 1 and type 2 errors. Excuse me. So if you're not aware of it, just know that. I think before we talk about the symbol, let me just clear off that part. I thought there are two types of correlation with different formula. Yes, it depends on what you're looking for. Then there is an aspect I did not consider when you're, and that aspect also will lead to you having different formation of the table. You know, the table I gave you just has x, y, x squared, y squared, and xy. That is because we are looking for the equation of a regression line of y and x. But there are some points when you'll be talking about some other functions on correlation and regression that will need you to make use of d. That's when we have d or minus d squared or thereabouts. And I don't know the scope of your video, the scope of your textbook, if it covers all that, and if they usually bring it in your exams question. So I just needed to give you the basics. Those ones are not really difficult compared to, in fact, all of them are not difficult. All right. But if you need us to touch them, Spearmark rank correlation coefficient. Yeah, exactly. For Spearmark rank, so that particular one has a different way of the ranking method. You need to consider the first position, the second position, third position, down to depending on what is given. And that's how you work on that particular one. All right. So we just need to touch things bit by bit. Let it not be that we just did only one topic. So, but if you're having challenges on that, just let me know. I'm going to also do a tutorials on that. I intended to do a lot of videos on my YouTube channel on these things, with distraction from 300, 400 level students could not let me do that. So let's move straight to hypothesis testing. I told you that we have two types of errors, and then these two types of errors are involved in statistical hypothesis are what we call the type 1 error and type 2 errors. So these are the two types of errors we have. But then you need to know what type 1 error is all about. Type 1 error itself is committed if we reject the null hypothesis. And this is why I wanted to do the symbol first. If we reject the null hypothesis when it is true, that's when we consider type 1 error. Therefore, type 2 error is committed if we accept the null hypothesis when it is false. So keep in mind that type 1 error is when we commit, if we reject the null hypothesis. When this one is committed if we reject the null hypothesis when it is true, and this is committed when we accept the null hypothesis when it is false. So that's the basic difference I need you to know about this type 1 and type 2. And the last thing I want you to know about this before we move straight to the orientation on test of hypothesis, that the probability of committing type 1 error is called the level of significance. I can just put it like the probability of committing type 1 error is what we call the level of significance. And instead of writing level of significance, we usually use alpha to represent level of significance. Do you still remember this? Are you aware of it? Please let me know in the comment section if you're aware of that. This alpha is standing for level of significance. I repeat myself that the probability of committing, If it comes in your objective, you should be able to know the probability of committing a type 1 error is called the level of significance of the test, and then we use alpha to denote that. All right. Also, the probability of committing type 2 error is given as beta. So these are the two things I want you to keep in mind about type 1 and type 2 error, so that if for any eventuality it comes in exams, please finish it. Finish it. So having said that, let's move straight to the basic things we need to know about the test of statistical hypothesis. Okay, some persons are saying yes, that means you're following up. So let's start with this first symbol. Have you seen this symbol before? Let me know if you've seen this symbol. And somebody should type, what does this mean? We've started our exams already. Okay, Liberty, welcome back. Tyler, thank you for watching and staying. Divine, I've been seeing your comments. Buddy, I've been seeing your comments. You're welcome, guys. Okay, let's go. I think some persons have started failing this one. Oh, these exams, we've started our exams. What does that symbol mean? It's like some persons have started failing the answer or failing the exams, but it won't be your portion. You only fail on this line, online, but offline you pass it because you're going to correct every necessary thing. Yes, let me have your answers for what this symbol is all about. Are you sure of what you're saying? Yes, I'm still waiting for more answers so that we conclude on this. Two persons have failed already. And another person said mean. You can't just say mean and much. So you have to be specific. Yeah, we do specification. If you're not specific, you're in trouble. Yes. If you're not being specific, you're in trouble. So if I'm seeing Tyler, I don't know if I'm calling your name well, actually, or Adolphine. So I'm sorry if I'm having a wrong pronunciation. She said, or he said, sample mean. Famous Liberty also says sample mean, which I'm not agreeing with both of them. So at some point, Adolphine has made correction that it is population mean, and Praise says mean. So I think I'm taking that of the second answer of Adolphine, which is population mean. So this stands for population mean. Please, it's not for sample mean. Take correction right now and make sure you don't make this mistake tomorrow or this morning. I don't know exactly the time of exams, but whatever it is, please take this correction. So let's move to the second one. What does this mean? Quickly. If you're just joining, please like the video. Just hit the like button, please. If you're just joining us, hit the like button. I would really appreciate that. If you just encourage us by hitting the like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay, the second one means what? Okay, 8 a.m. is your exams. Wow. And I'm keeping you so late like this. I'm sorry. Okay, in the absence of answer, let's just proceed. This is for sample mean. I hope you're not scared already, because you don't need to be scared. This S standing for what? No response. Okay, I'll also fill it out for you. This for sample standard Yes, divine, you got it correctly. Standard deviation. And then what about this symbol? So you can see we can't just be having like the other one. Listen, okay, while you're typing, please pay attention. We cannot just be calling mean ordinarily when you know that we just do not have only one particular mean. We have population mean, we have sample mean. That's why we need that specification. Like in this case of this S, we call this particular S sample standard deviation so that you can differentiate it from this one that is population standard deviation. Yes, thank you very much, those of you who are calling population standard deviation. You need that specification. That will help you a lot when, because the reason I'm spending the time to talk about this is because you don't predict the question they will give to you. But whichever question they bring to you, when you read it with understanding, you should be able to know when they mention the population standard deviation or sample standard deviation or population mean and sample mean. Because if you do not pay attention to those things and you just fix in any value to anything, then you're in problem. What about this Z subscript alpha? We already know what alpha is all about. I think I mentioned it few minutes ago. But Z subscript alpha is for what? Is the video a bit clearer now? Somebody is saying the video is not clear. Please, if it is not clear, we are suspecting that the reception might be poor. All right. So we apologize for that. Yeah, we know that alpha is level of significance. I'm asking about Z subscript alpha. What does that represent? Oh shit, I'm having a flat battery already. You're giving me a signal here. So let me just put this down for you guys. This critical point. And when you see N, what does N represent? N is just for random sample. So sometimes for this random sample, you may see cases where N is greater than 30 degrees, or sorry, 30, and when N is less than 30. In this case, it will make you know the particular, formula to use. All right, so take note of that. And when you have theta itself, when you see theta is standing for population parameter, just call this one population parameter. This one said there's no time already, and just swear it's no time. No, this exercise is just for kind of revision. These are things you've already studied now. Or are you apparently letting me know that you've not done this course? Yeah. How then are you prepared for the exam? This is just to remind you some necessary things you should remember. Right? It's assume that you've already covered the syllable. We're only just helping you to reminding you these things, okay? So I will speed up right now. Speed up. Okay. The next thing you want to look into is a test concerning mean. For test concerning mean, test consigning means. Under this test consigning means, you need to know what H naught is all about. And this H naught is what we call the null hypothesis. Okay, the devices are going down because of this your place light issue. I was hoping that they will bring it, but there's a condition in this your community that Gen should not stay on after 11 o'clock, 11 p.m. So I had to put it off when my devices are not fully charged. So you can see it can't serve me as much as I wanted. And that's very terrible. I'm not just happy about this. That's why I'm trying to speed up to see how much I can cover, because this thing will just log me out in no distant time. And you may think I'm the one that escaped. Meanwhile, I have past question of several years. I want to spend the time till 3 or 4 p.m. today. You can see what I'm saying now. So this one, some textbook uses H subscript 1, some textbook uses H subscript A, and this means alternative. Alternative hypothesis. Okay, this was said back in the States. Myself and the instructor have not suffered the light issues. It is well, it is well. That's the country for you. Okay, so we also have that the null hypothesis for this population mean will be equal to this. And then this condition for alternative hypothesis varies. Either use this or this one, depending, but just try and be using one. In my case, I would like you to be used to either this one or this one. But let's choose this one. Whenever you see that the sample or the population mean is not equal to this, and this works for two-tailed tests, is for the condition where we have two-tailed tests. All right, for two-tailed tests, you have that this is not equal to this. That's for alternative hypothesis. But for one-tailed test, is either this will be greater than this, and if it is greater than, that's when you're talking about the right-tailed test. And again, when this particular man is less than this, so that's when you're talking about left-tailed test. And these two falls under what we call one-tailed test. One-tailed test. Remember, for two-tailed tests, you have that the population mean is not equal to that. That's for two-tailed tests. But when that is greater than, they usually capture it in the equation, but they will not go directly. It's not always straightforward in some cases. But when they say it is greater than this, you know it's right-tailed test. If it is less than, you know it's left-tailed test. And then they are just talking about one-tailed test. And then you need to know how to present them, because I intend to solve a lot of problems if the phone will carry me. I've told you about this one to be level of significance already. For the level of significance, we present it in the percentage formation, and you may most likely be familiar with 0.05. That's what we usually make use of. That doesn't mean it is this 0.05 is something as 5%. That doesn't mean this is the only one we make use of. You can also use 0.01, which is equivalent to 1%, and others could be used. But the most frequent one that is always used for the level of significance is 0.05 and 0.01. I hope that tomorrow you will have 0.05 in your exams. You probably may want to bring that. So I told you when the value of n is less than 30, when you have n to be less than 30, there are a couple of conditions of formula. That's when you consider the t formula. And I hope by now you know how to use your t table and your z table, because I've been searching for mine. I only have it on phone, but I don't know how to place it for you. So this is useful whenever you have n to be less than 30. But if n is greater than 30, then you consider using the z formula, especially when this s is given. And when I call s, of course, you know what I'm talking about. I've already told you their names. This is all over s over the square root of n. So keep this in mind, it's very important. So after this, you have to make decision about the null hypothesis. All right. There are other cases where you still have this the z calculation. When it is greater than z table, what you need to do at this point, you just have to reject the null hypothesis. Whenever you notice that the calculated z value is greater than the one you have in the z table, then you reject. But when you have this z car less than z tab, then at this point you cannot reject h naught. Then finally, when you have z car equal to z tab, then you reserve your judgment, or you just take more sample. All right. So I'm just trying to rush down because everything is going dim. You can see that the light is not getting brighter any longer, and the phone battery is red. This is not really what I intend to. But I just hope that if this comes up, if I'm able to charge up by, I don't know if your exam is truly by 11. If it is truly by 11, I don't mind coming up by 8 a.m. again. Because if you have done your reading so much, I can leave you to read as much as you can. Then when we come by 8 a.m., we just do others as much as it's still on this statistics. Your brain will be fresh. It will still be fresh on your memory. I'm sure about that. Oh, somebody said it's 8 a.m. 8 a.m. is quite very early. God, what am I going to do? So please, when you're doing that, you need to learn how to draw this. Oh, that's true. You're not solving it. I don't know. It's not theory, so there's no point me doing this. Since it's not theory, I want you to draw the left and the left tail test and the right tail test and the one we have as the two tail tests. But for the calculation for test statistic, you need to also use this z you need to use this particular one if you only use this one if this particular one is known. If this is known. If it is not known, please don't use it. Use the other one I spell out. Is that clear? Does this make sense to you? If this particular one is unknown, then consider using t equal to. That's for the test statistic. You need to know all of this. If this man is not known, then consider using this, especially if n is less than 30. I'm still repeating it, especially if n is less than 30. But if n is greater than 30, then you should use z equal to this particular man over s over square root of n. This is what you should use. But when this is known, please consider using this, not this particular one. That's what I want to distinguish. And then after that, you just make decision about your null hypothesis, either to write, either to reject or to accept the null hypothesis based on the stated critical region. It's just based on the stated critical region. If the calculated value of the statistic falls in the critical region, we reject. Keep attention to that. If it is false, or if it falls within the critical region, we reject the null hypothesis and accept otherwise. If the calculated value of the statistic is equal to the tabulated value, we reserve judgment and take new sample. Is that clear? Is that clear? No, for you to choose whether it is T or Z is just dependent on what is given in the equation. That's why I said that if this is given, then you choose to use your Z statistic. And then if it is not given, then you use this T statistic if only the n is less than 30. But if n is greater than 30 on this case, then use Z statistic. That's what I'm trying to say. Do you copy? Did you get what I said? Okay. I'm wishing you well in your exams. Just try to see if you can be able to read a few things. Let me see if this power bank is still alive. Then maybe by 4 o'clock, 4 a.m. we'll converge here together to see how far we can solve some problems. All right. So thank you very much for joining, and I wish you success in your exams. And I hope that second semester will be better. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for joining us. I am Instructor Allison, and if you are new to my channel, then my number is 07039618664. You can reach me on WhatsApp at any point in time for your academic work. So thank you very much. I have to go right now. Or if you want the past question paper, then you need to chat me up. I don't know if the flash of the phone will even show for me to snap it and post. But just chat me up on 070. That's my WhatsApp number, 070. You just tell me your name and your department, so I will save your number. 07039618664. That's my WhatsApp number. Oh, selected group is already in my WhatsApp group. You're welcome. All right, guys. I will see you when I see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for growing my channel with me. I love you guys all. Bye bye.